Ever wonder if we're truly alone out there? Our planet is just bursting with life, and it seems like the urge to connect, to find someone who sometimes jumps right over the species line. We tend to see the animal world as all about survival. Predator versus prey. But what if there's another side to it? What if, out in the wild, and even in places we'd never expect, there are friendships so deep, so surprising, they make us rethink everything we thought we knew about animals? So, get ready. Today, we're stepping into a world where the usual rules don't always apply, where a paw might reach out for comfort, not conflict. A world where being different in size, species, or even where you sit on the food chain doesn't matter when something stronger like companionship comes along. These aren't just random meetings. They're real stories of loyalty, kindness, and connections so amazing they'll surprise you and, totally melt your heart. Whatever you thought you knew about animals, the animal kingdom's ready to show you its softer side. First up, let's travel to the Samburu National Reserve in Kenya. It's a beautiful but tough place, home to some serious predators. Here, a lioness, a creature right at the top of the food chain, did something that really puzzled scientists and caught everyone's attention. Her name was Kamunyak, which means the Blessed One. Normally, a lioness would see an oryx calf as, lunch. Yet, Kamunyak adopted not one, but several oryx calves over time, protecting them just like they were her own cubs. She'd shield the fragile little calf, fighting off other predators, even members of her own pride. And this wasn't just a quick thing. She'd stay with her adopted babies for days, often going hungry because she couldn't leave them to hunt. Wildlife experts were baffled. Some thought maybe Kamunyak couldn't have her own cubs, and her powerful motherly instincts just took over with these little oryxes. It was a really touching example of a mother's instinct, completely going against the usual predator-prey rules. But it's good to remember that Kamunyak's story is super rare, a real standout in nature, not your everyday wild animal friendship. Her story, as heartwarming as it is, shows us just how strange and wonderful nature can be, and reminds us there's still so much we don't know about the wild. Next, we're heading from the African plains to Noah's Ark Animal Sanctuary in Georgia, right here in the USA. Here, a trio that really was one of a kind captured the hearts of millions. Baloo the American black bear, Leo the African lion, and Shere Khan the Bengal tiger. Folks lovingly called them the BLT, and their story is all about bouncing back in a bond that nothing could break, formed because of the tough times they shared. They were rescued as scared, starving cubs from a terrible situation in a drug dealer's basement. Now, these three, a bear, a lion, and a tiger, would usually be enemies, or at least keep their distance in the wild. But they held on to each other for comfort. Leo, the lion, had been stuck in a tiny crate, his face wounded. Shere Khan, the tiger, was dangerously underweight. And Baloo, the bear, had a harness digging deep into his skin because it was never loosened as he grew. At Noah's Ark, they got the help they so badly needed. And as they got better, their friendship just got stronger. They did everything together: ate, slept, played, even groomed each other. It was like they found their own special way to comfort each other, completely ignoring that they were different species. The people at the sanctuary first thought they might have to separate them as they got older, but the BLT, they stayed thick as thieves. For more than 10 years, they lived together peacefully. It really showed how much comfort and friendship they found in one another after such a rough start. Even though Leo and Shere Khan passed away a few years back, and Baloo more recently in May 2025, what they stood for, this incredible friendship, definitely lives on. What they went through together made them a family, a brotherhood that went beyond species and touched the hearts of everyone who heard about them. A lot of these sweet stories about animal friendships happen in sanctuaries and wildlife parks. These are places where animals from all sorts of backgrounds end up together, usually with humans looking after them. We've got a couple of great examples. one about an elephant and another about an orangutan, and believe it or not, they both made friends with a dog. Over at Myrtle Beach Safari, a United States reserve, there's Bubbles, an African elephant. She was rescued as an orphan after ivory poachers tragically got to her herd. Well, Bubbles formed this amazing friendship with a black lab named Bella. Apparently, Bella was left at the reserve by a contractor working there. Even with Bubbles being huge, and Bella, well, not so huge, they became the best of buddies. You'd often see videos of them swimming together. Bella even used Bubbles as her personal diving board. Their playtime just looked like pure, joyful fun. And then there's Suryia, the orangutan, and Roscoe, a blue-tick hound. Roscoe just wandered onto the grounds of tigers, another place in South Carolina, and he and Suryia became best pals. People would see them walking together, Suryia holding Roscoe's leash like a protective friend, swimming and just goofing around. It really seemed like they both found the companionship they needed. Now, while these stories about Bubbles and Bella and Suryia and Roscoe are super cute and show how animals can connect, it's good to know the bigger picture. Both Myrtle Beach Safari and tigers have actually been criticized by animal welfare groups. These groups have raised concerns about the animals' living conditions and how these interactions are sometimes set up for show. This makes you think a bit more about these friendships in places where animals are kept by humans, because people play a big part in how these bonds happen and how we see them. Imagine a sleek, powerful jaguar, a creature built for stealth and hunting alone. Now picture a small, feisty Jack Russell Terrier, an unlikely pair for friendship, you bet. But down at the Aquaba Lodge, a wildlife park in South Africa, that's exactly what happened with Jag the Jaguar and Bullet the Jack Russell Terrier. They completely surprised everyone. Jag came to the lodge as a little orphaned cub and was raised by people at first. As he got bigger, his caretakers realized he needed a friend. And that's where Bullet, the tiny terrier, came in. The minute they met, something amazing clicked between them. They'd play together, eat together, even sleep together. You can find videos of them wrestling, and Jag, even though he was so big and strong, was always incredibly gentle with his little buddy. At one point, Jag got so much bigger that he was moved to his own space. And at first, Bullet wasn't allowed in with him. Apparently, both of them got pretty upset about being separated, which just shows how strong their bond was. So, realizing how much they meant to each other, they were reunited. Next up, we have an absolutely incredible story of loyalty that crosses oceans and species lines. It's about Dindim, a Magellanic penguin, and João Pereira de Souza, a retired bricklayer and part-time fisherman from a village near Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So, back in 2011, João found a little penguin named Dindim, stranded on the beach, covered in oil, and barely alive. João gently cleaned off all that oil, fed Dindim every single day, and nursed him back to health until he was strong enough to head back to the ocean. But when João tried to set him free, Dindim just wouldn't leave. He actually stayed with João for 11 months before finally heading off, probably to join his colony's migration. João thought he'd seen the last of his feathered friend, but a few months later, Dindim returned. He just waddled right up the beach and followed João home. And for years, this amazing thing kept happening. Dindim would hang out with João for about 8 months each year, then take off for breeding season, probably to the coasts of Argentina or Chile, and then, like clockwork, he'd come back to João the next year. Now, biologists say penguins are pretty loyal to their mates, but this kind of bond with a human? That was really something else. Some scientists were a bit skeptical, wondering if it was the same penguin every time, because honestly, tracking wild penguins across those huge distances is tough. But João? He was absolutely sure it was his Dindim. He knew his honks and the affectionate way the penguin acted. Dindim would wag his tail like a dog and honk with delight upon seeing João. Whatever you want to call it, a deep friendship or just amazing animal loyalty, their unique bond really showed a powerful connection that went way beyond the usual lines between people and wild animals. Pretty incredible stories, right? They really make you stop and think about what's possible in the animal world. Which of these friendships has touched you the most so far? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're loving this look into the wilder side of friendship, please hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome animal tales. Your support helps us bring these inspiring tales to light. So, all these heartwarming stories about animals becoming friends with other species make you wonder, why does this happen? It's easy to think of these animals as having human-like feelings and reasons. That's called anthropomorphism. But scientists look at it a bit differently, with more detail. A lot of these friendships, especially the ones in zoos or sanctuaries, can happen because animals just need to be social, especially if they're away from their own kind. Think of the BLT Trio, rescued together and finding comfort in each other's presence. Young animals are especially good at adapting and might just bond with whoever's around. Humans stepping in also plays a big part. A lot of these friendships probably wouldn't happen out in the wild where life is all about survival. Sometimes parental instincts can kick in, as we possibly saw with Kamunyak the lioness. And, sometimes what looks like friendship to us might actually be a "you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours" kind of deal. One animal might provide protection, while the other offers companionship or even grooming. The latest research, even stuff from 2024 and 2025, is still digging into all this. It suggests that while animals definitely form strong connections, they're often based on things that help them survive and do well, not necessarily the same kind of emotional attachments we feel in human friendships. So, from lionesses adopting their usual prey to jaguars making friends with dogs, and even penguins crossing oceans for a human buddy, the animal kingdom is just full of surprises, isn't it? These stories of wild animal friendships, in all their complexity, do more than just melt our hearts. They give us a peek into a world where connection is key, where friendships can pop up in the strangest places, and where caring for another can break down all sorts of barriers we think are there. And while we need to be a bit careful not to just call them human-like friendships and leave it at that, there's no denying how much they inspire us and make us feel. They're a great reminder of how connected all life on Earth is, and how deep and complex animal social lives can actually be, something we probably don't give enough credit for. They challenge our assumptions and expand our understanding of what it means to connect. What did you think of these incredible animal friendships? Do you have a favorite story or perhaps one of your own to share? We'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. If these stories have warmed your heart and opened your eyes to the wonders of the animal world, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs a smile today. And hey, don't forget to subscribe and ding that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next adventure into the amazing world of animals. Thank you for watching, and may you find connection in the most unexpected places.